Today we have a spicy leg day on the program. So as you know, I have 3 leg days per week. So that means that I like to keep my leg days as efficient and as short as possible because I distribute the volume evenly across my leg days. And I always make sure that I have enough time to rest and recover, but I also make sure that my leg days are intense. And before you're coming for me, I don't just do leg days. I only have like one little time window now to film my exercises because the gym has been really busy with obviously a lot of new people joining, which is great. But therefore, like that time window always is on my leg day. So the new year, I always get a lot of like a big influx of messages of people saying that they basically feel behind in life. So maybe you want to start something new, but you feel like it's like overly saturated, or you feel like people are getting work done so much faster than you. Basically, you're just feeling behind. And what really helps for me is to, I guess, change your perspective. We're just very much zoomed in and viewing it as if it's this sprint, this 1-year race, that you only have a year and people are so much farther than you. But in fact, it's a 10-year game plan. And 10 years is a long, long time. Like the cards can look completely different in 10 years if you just keep doing what you're doing now and stay consistent with it. In the micro, so on a daily basis, you should have speed. Like you should work hard and try to make sure that you achieve your goals and that you get one step closer every single day. But in the macro, you need to have patience. First exercise of today, and we're aiming for maximum glute involvement, maximum glute activation. So we're starting with the step up in the Smith machine. I'm using a bench to elevate myself. The bench isn't my favorite because it has that cushioned top, which means that it's a bit harder for me to stay stabilized. However, I do really like the height, so you kind of have to compromise. Also, I can use the barbell from the Smith machine to keep myself as stabilized as I can, so that really helps. So a few cues with this exercise. I am positioning myself underneath the bar, and I really want to try to focus on only working my working leg and not using my non-working leg to push myself off of the ground. But I also want to make sure is that I don't extend my hips at the top. I don't want to like do this little squeeze here. I want to stay right here so I keep that tension on my glutes, and then I slowly lower myself to really get that stretch in my glutes. And then you can kind of use your non-working leg to reset yourself at the bottom or to kind of touch and go, but don't use it to actively push yourself off of the ground. And so the aim with this exercise is 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps per side. Okay, we're moving on to exercise number 2, which you've seen in my previous video. If you've watched that video, this is too heavy for me. It's the deadlift, or the sumo deadlift in the Smith machine, which is 10 out of 10. I'm using a step because otherwise my range of motion is limited, because this is the lowest that the Smith machine bar can go. Then I have a sumo stance. Feet are pointing outwards. This really helps with making sure that your knees don't cave in. My hands are on the insides of my leg. Grab the bar and then lift yourself up. Again, I'm stopping short of the top, so I don't really want to lock myself out here. I keep the tension on my glutes, I keep the tension on my hamstrings, and then I slowly lower myself again. And I'm going to do 3 sets of 8 to 10 slow reps. Next up is the calf glute bridge. This is one of the exercises that is hardest when your glutes are at the shortened position, when you reach full hip extension. Therefore, it has a bias towards the upper division of your glutes, and you can use it to build that shelf. I don't have pads here, so I'm aiming for 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps, but not sure if my hip bone might break. We'll see. Okay, we arrived at the last exercise for today, last but definitely not least. I'm doing a standing hamstring curl. Developing your hamstrings helps so much with your glutes as well. Like, they go hand in hand. So we're doing hamstrings today, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 sets of 4, 4, 4, 4 reps. So basically it's an enormous drop set. So I'm doing 4 reps, drop the weight, 4 reps, drop the weight, 4 reps, drop the weight, 4 reps. We're absolutely destroying every single fiber that's left in our hamstring. And then I'm crawling home. So I'm pushing my quads in the pad, I'm pushing my chest into the pads. My grip is really tight and I only use my hamstring to move the weight up. Slowly lower it, not fully. Keep the tension on the hamstring and then going up again. That was our short, sweet, but spicy leg workout for today. As always, make sure that you end with some static stretches. Here's breakfast. I have a bowl of low-fat Greek yogurt, added some lemon, cinnamon, some seeds, honey, blueberries, and some macadamia nuts. And then I also have 2 slices of this walnut bread, which I haven't tried before, so I'm excited to try it, with peanut butter, with butter, and then some other Brazilian nuts as well. So a good combination of some carbs, fats, and obviously protein. For lunch, I'm going to attempt to make rice patties by using this waffle machine. So this is looking promising, but I am pushing it aside real quick so I can make the chicken. I seasoned the chicken with soy sauce, rice vinegar, honey, garlic paste, and sesame seeds. And now I'm just going to put them in the pan. I added a bit of avocado oil. I added a lot of avocado oil. And then I'm just quickly going to make it while my rice patty is finishing up cooking. I'm at the studio and I'm going to make a catalog of all the plates we have, the pots we have, the cups we have, the pans we have, because we'll be starting with making the recipe photos for my app next week. So I thought it would be helpful to have like a catalog so we can browse through it and see what plates we want to use with which dish, instead of like having to go through everything. So I'm laying everything out right now, as you can see, and then I'm taking quick photos with my phone, and then I'm going to put everything in these 2 little cabinets that we just installed. I think it looks so stunning, everything. So we made a mood board for the app with the vibe that we want to go for. I also asked on my Instagram, and then we went ahead and ordered all these different things that will help us achieve that look when we make the recipe photos. And then I'll quickly show the studio as well, because we actually did quite a bit of work here. So this is where we will be taking the photos, which is so bright, as you can see. I also record the workout videos here for my follow along channel, so if you follow along with those, then you definitely recognize the space. But Ruben painted everything white, so it looks super fresh again. And we also installed, we now also have this wall so we can use it to take photos. And then this is where I record the follow along videos. And then we also just received these. These took forever to arrive because they're all handmade. They're absolutely stunning, so we'll be using these with making the photos for the recipes. I have like different ones, but they're so stunning. This is like the cute collection. So we have all these little butter knives. It's adorable. Like, for these ones. I mean, I definitely made progress. This is for Loie. So this is all done, all organized, and I obviously made all the photos. I still need to like wash everything and take the stickers off, but that's for another day. Probably tomorrow, but now I'm continuing with the other cabinet that I have.
Esta obsesión se me fuera y ya desaparezca.
For dinner, I first boiled some potatoes and then I roasted them in the oven at 220 degrees Celsius for as long as I could. I added some oil to get them crispy, and then my groceries came in that I ordered. I love ordering groceries. First of all, it's so easy, and second of all, the products are local where they can. So the vegetables, the fruits and stuff, the eggs, so it just tastes amazing. So I love it, and it's so much easier.
How are you? Sit.
So here is what I usually get. My groceries are quite similar, I would say, and this will last definitely a good few days. Recently we got new pans, which I finally used for the first time today, and it was tough, not gonna lie, so I definitely have some learning to do still. I just finished dinner. Ruben is walking with Loie, so I'm by myself. I just cleaned the kitchen, did some laundry, and now it is time for the most important part of the day, which is dessert. Very excited for. So this is from, I think it's from a restaurant, but I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's not. But it's chocolate mousse. There's something about chocolate mousse. You can't beat it, and you have to eat it with a tiny spoon. Delicious.